Steven recommended a movie to me last week.
What?
Called Sand Sharks, starring Hulk Hogan's daughter, who acts even worse than Hulk Hogan.
Are you kidding me? He was in Suburban Commando. Amazing movie.
I mean, now I recommended you a movie. Did you?
Nope.
Okay, thanks, bud. All killers, welcome all kings and scream queens. This is the Kings of Kill podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Zack.
I'm Steven.
And together we are the Kings of Kill, bringing to you the show dedicated to the love of all things horror. And this week, we've got a very special episode of the Kings of Kill podcast. Put that shit coffee down.
Don't worry about it.
Ruining our sponsorship.
That's all I have in here.
Folks, if you're interested in sponsoring the show like Hanson's Hankerings, please visit hansonhankerings.com for fine gourmet coffee. It is good coffee.
It's better than what I'm drinking now.
You could have had some. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for listening. We got a very special episode of the King's Kill podcast. Steven, will you please announce to all of our killer fans around the world what we're talking about today?
Belial.
Belial, that's right. We got, I hope we're pronouncing it right. Close enough.
Belial.
Yeah. That is the worst way to sell it ever.
Wow.
We have brand new original horror comics from Instinct Comics, created by Shaun, Barbour, and we have a special guest. Shaun will be in the house on the line later on in the show. Our first
in the house and on the line.
Both, all the things. Well, if we had an actual studio, in our communicative studio.
In our studio.
All of our killer fans around the world. No shit, it's not NBC.
Lord Michaels.
Don't get me started on that Peacock deal. Don't get me started on.
Rough.
You guys, thank y'all so much for listening. We appreciate you. Head on over to kingsofkill.com. That's our official website. There you can request your very own episode of the Kings of Kill podcast. Totally free, totally easy. kingsofkill.com. While you're there, do a little shopping. Help support the show. We appreciate you. Now, we're going to share some scares. We're going to count some kills. Steven. Hi, bud.
What's up?
So nothing's off limits on the King's Kill podcast. Anything can be requested as long as it's horror adjacent in the realm of the scary family. We've covered video games before. Yeah, it's whatever you guys want. You guys are in charge. You are the kings. We've covered video games before. That was fun. Phasmophobia. If y'all want to check it out, all of our library. Yeah, Resident Evil. All of our podcast library is available for free at kingskill.com. This time we're covering a comic book, not just any comic book, original, brand new horror comic. Belial was so much fun. Like,
it was.
I had a blast reading this. It was
a breath of fresh air, actually.
Yes, it was quirky. It was fun. I love the style. Like the cover is beautiful and
cover's
vibrant.
So badass.
Inside, it's all black and white with watercolors. It has a great dirty feel to it.
It's got a
it's fantastic
on it.
It's kind of like
Sin City Hellboy.
Mike Mignola's Hellboy, Sin City, with a little bit of, like you mentioned this earlier, Disenchanted vibe. That's perfect.
Disenchantment. I texted the wrong words.
Okay.
I said this is like that Disney show Disenchantment or whatever the hell that is. No, I'm already.
A Disney show?
Yeah, Disenchanted is a Disney show.
Oh, that's why
Disenchantment is Matt Going, the guy who made Simpsons, his Netflix show.
Oh, he made that too. Okay, that makes sense. I could actually.
The illustration, the art, all that.
Yes.
You can't miss it.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun, and this barks right up that alley. It's quirky, it's humorous, it's literally hellacious. The whole thing takes place in hell. It's about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. It's about
that's awesome.
the devil possibly losing his throne, someone going to war and challenging the big guns himself. It's so much fun. It's lighthearted. It's easy to read. You gotta check it out. You really gotta check it out. It's totally worth a watch. Got it for you right here.
It's an awesome cover. It's so
it,
fucking tight.
It's a great cover. It's great artwork, original art. You guys, support your artists. We got beer, we got boobs, we got hell, we got fights. That's a win.
Cursing. It's got it all.
It's great. It's great. It's so much fun. I'm a big fan of horror comics. Like, I love the Creep Show comics. My sis got me a Creep Show comic years ago, and I absolutely loved it. Got some shout outs to like Tomb of Dracula. Anyone who calls himself a Marvel fan and hasn't checked out Tomb of Dracula, it's probably the best work they've ever done. That series is insane.
I'm a Tales from the Crypt myself.
Tales of the Crypt is absolutely fantastic. I mean, 70s horror comics, that was the Bronze Age, man. We got things like
I liked From Hell. From Hell. I never really finished that. But I got a few in, and it's pretty fucking gnarly how Jack the Ripper is in that.
Oh, totally. Swamp Thing, Sandman, Blade, Walking Dead started off as a comic series.
Sandman is almost a fantasy, but you could pass it as a horror.
It's creepy enough. It's creepy enough.
Fucking terrifying, all right?
King dives into fantasy too, but he's still pretty good. Yeah, you mentioned Tales from the Crypt. I mean, absolutely love it. Horror comics are great. And think about it, like,
I got The Thing from Another World. That is a gnarly read.
Oh, you actually read the original from the 30s?
No. It's a comic.
They made it into a comic. That's cool.
Yeah. It's a little... I don't know how many... I think I have 4 issues, but I'm not sure how many issues there actually are. So I guess I never finished it. But you know what? It's pretty fucking tight. I have the cover way on the other side of my room that I'm not going to bring up.
Your room? You mean Studio B of the Kings of Kill headquarters?
Studio B.
Lot A. How's that coffee? Oh, it's shit.
Tastes like ass.
It doesn't taste like ass.
I guess it's not bad.
Anson's egg drinks.
It's true.
Oh, that's some good shit right there. So there's something about original art, and people need to support artists. If you like something, throw someone a couple pennies. You know what I mean? Especially like these indie guys that are doing this out of love. You know what I mean? Like we only say out of
their pocket.
Yeah, we only say like hey, come to our website because we're doing this, just for entertainment. We just want to spread the love of horror out there. You know what I mean? So if you can, buy a mug, buy a sweatshirt. We really appreciate it. When it comes to things like this beautiful comic it's only $10. That's a steal, man. Really, for indie art. Not a problem at all. There's some problems against indie art, though. We all know about the Comics Code or the Comics Authority that started rating art, right?
Not all of us. Please inform the people that don't know.
How that came to be is straight up censorship, and censorship fucking sucks. So
Disney.
Yeah, Disney. Looking at you, Mickey. A psychiatrist named Fred Wortham interviewed members of the Throw Kill gang in New York after they got arrested. And he found out through interviewing them that they read horror comics. So he determined that horror comics were the cause of all their debauchery and evil. Not them. It was the comics' fault. Let's all think about that.
God, just
for
like
a second.
Music and movies.
It's exactly like that. So
the thought of killed my boy.
Killed my boy. No, papa. So it's really sad. A lot of terrible things happen to great artists. Like a lot of the great comic artists wound up poor most of their lives. Just like Batman was stolen from Finger. I think we went over that story in the King's Guild podcast before.
Yeah,
this story,
probably. I think we did touch on it.
We did. It's in our library. We guarantee it. So
Don't even know why.
Weird. We went off on a tangent. That's bizarre, isn't it?
So weird. I don't know. I don't know who does that.
Oh, unlike us, man. So Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel created Superman, right? DC stole Superman from them, wouldn't give them the rights to it, even though they created this guy and drew for him. When the Superman movie was released, they were so poor they couldn't buy a ticket to see Reeves as Superman. How unjust is that? DC stole it from him, man.
Good Lord.
They lived in poverty. They were struggling to make ends meet. So Joe Shuster was hired on to, so he took up horror comics, right, which really didn't get a lot of money at the time, but he could draw really well, really prolific. And if you look at, I can't remember what the actual comic was called, but he never signed the actual comic. He was afraid to put his name on, tarnish it, in case he could get back up to Superman. You know what I mean? Because it was really graphic stuff, and it's just so sad. Anyways, this shrink published a paper correlating comics to blame the gang's actions, all violence, the deterioration of youth. It was terrible. He went to the Senate. They had multiple hearings, and basically through fear mongering, in cahoot with multimedia productions, he called eventually, with the help of other senators, for censorship, banning art because it was scary. They blamed the art and not the people for their actions. Absolutely disgusting. Luckily, Bill Gaines, a famous crime and horror graphic novelist, stood up to him. So did Orson Welles. Said, this guy needs to get out of here. We need to celebrate
How's he
art.
doing?
Cool shit. That's what he's doing. The defense is simple. We got free speech. We got art. We got to support it. What you're doing is immoral. The censorship is ridiculous. And that's how we got the Comics Code, the Comics Authority, all that crap. But luckily, we still have indie horror alive. I'm excited. We actually have a guest. How cool is that?
It's pretty weird, but I like it.
Sorry, I got a little soapboxy. I'm a little passionate. Art's important.
That was soapboxy.
I'm sorry. Like soap.
Sell that shit to Lifetime.
And boxes. Lifetime, if you're listening, you write to us.
He's open. He's open.
You guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're really excited. We're going to take a really quick break, and as soon as we come back, we're going to have Shaun, Barbour, who created Belial, in house. We're so excited. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We will.
The Kings of Kill would like to thank each and every one of you, our killer fans. To show your appreciation for the work that we're doing here, the biggest thanks you can give us is to share this show with everyone you know. We're trying to grow and we need your help. Also, please visit kingsofkill.com. That's our official website. There you'll find tons of things, like links to our social media, like on Instagram at Kings of Kill Podcast, Twitter at KKill Podcast, our email, kingsofkillpodcast@gmail. You'll find ways to donate to the show. You'll find our online store full of unique, one-of-a-kind merchandise you can get nowhere else. A whole hosted library of each and every one of the Kings of Kill podcast episodes, plus a curated collection of all the movies and games that we talk about here on the show. Please do us a huge favor. Keep us going strong. Head on over to kingsofkill.com today. Thanks, and enjoy the show.
Thank you, folks, so much for listening. We love you. We are back, Kings Kill Podcast, and we have a special guest on the line, Shaun, Barbour of Instinct Comics, creator of Belial. Shaun, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I am excited, too. Thank you so much. You are our very first guest. We appreciate you being here. We're just reviewing your comic. Absolutely loved it. So much fun. Do you want to introduce yourself to our killer fans real quick?
Sure. My name is Shaun Barbour. I'm actually a freelance inker, but also comic book creator, writer, editor of Instinct Comics. Done over 20 different titles, and I've been published at Caliber Comics as well as many other indie titles, even just as an inker. But yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. We're so happy to have you. We absolutely love your work. Your style is awesome. Tell us real quick about your inspiration for this comic.
It's funny you ask, actually, because I went to a private school for about 7 years, and I learned everything I didn't want to know. And so, basically, when I was doing some research for some stuff and other stories and kind of putting these together, I had the story sitting in the back of my brain, and I came across some really old kind of ideas that were out there. And the thought was that as far as Belial goes, he was thought in some of the oldest texts that he was the original ruler of hell. So I thought that was kind of a cool thing to kind of play with, because it was thought that that he was created to run hell. So in my mind, it was like, he's not good, he's not bad, he's doing a job. That's what he was meant to do. And that Lucifer, when he was cast out of heaven, that he took over hell. So it was one of those things where I was like, how would you feel if somebody came by and took your power away from you, everything that you knew, everything that you worked for? And so I threw in the idea of the fact that he was the one that created like the levels of hell, like for like Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
And kind of with it that when he got his throne and all of his powers taken away by the four horsemen, all he got left was this shitty little bar. And so he's been sulking and stewing in his own I don't know, his own depression, I guess you would say.
Oh yeah, misery, dude.
Yeah, and so you can kind of see it in there, and so he decides one day he's had enough. He's watched his once, grandiose hell crumble and fall, and there's that giant pit in the middle, and everything is dilapidated, and he has had enough. So it was basically my idea of the way I related to it was that I have had to start my life over a lot of times. So I kind of tapped into that a little bit and brought it to a semi, serious but also comical kind of stance.
Yep, I think it's a great idea, executed very well.
Yeah, I like that.
I love it, and it makes sense too because you mentioned Dante's Inferno. I'm a big fan of the Divine Comedy, and also something you said, like, well, maybe Belial isn't an evil bastard. He just has a gig to do. That's something I really find interesting about Roman mythology. Like, everyone has a job. It kind of makes sense. There's like structure and order to it,
Right. And so, like, that's why you'll see in the book, I like to kind of equate it to, like, say, if you've seen it, Mr. Pickles meets Hellboy. So
that's perfect.
So he's got that grim, that serious, but he's also very determined. He's got the structure, the planning, the determination when he sets his mind to it to get stuff done. But he's also got his little sidekick, and that sidekick is the one that kind of helps him out, has his back no matter what, even though everybody else has turned around him, and he's the loudmouth that doesn't care how big he is. He's going to stand up no matter what. So the almost complete opposite of what Belial is, and it creates a pretty cool juxtaposition, I think.
Oh, for sure. It just fit. It really, really fit. Kudos, man. You have a great story. I know I have issue 2. I cannot wait to read it. So it's about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are kind of like the opponents right now is what I got from the first 5. I know issue 2's out. Is there an issue 3 on the way?
We absolutely do have issue 3 on the way.
Awesome.
It's actually in the process right now. I'm waiting for the first draft to get to me, and then I'm going to be doing the edits and stuff, and then we get rolling on the artwork. But it's set to be 4 issues. So it's pretty cool, but it's rounding out. We're about halfway through, and it's got a pretty decent following. We did really well on our last Kickstarter and stuff, so it was fun.
Good for you, man. So tell us, you mentioned the process you're going through right now. Could you tell our killer fans about the process of making a comic from scratch, which is essentially what you're doing?
Yeah. So usually what you would do is you would come up with, if you're involved in it from beginning to end, as far as the writing process goes, depends on whether you're writing by yourself or have somebody with you, but you kind of got to come up with the bones of the story to kind of flesh out where you want to go, how you want it to end, if it's not an ongoing story, or even just kind of start out with that first arc to kind of create that solidarity in the storytelling. And then you go through the draft, and then you go with all your revisions, you get your test readers. When you get that all fleshed out, then you edit it to make sure it kind of works. Then you can go to the pencils. From the pencils, once those are edited and everything is approved, then you go through to the inking. And the inking kind of adds the depth, shadow, any kind of the finer points, line corrections, anything like that. Then if you go through the coloring process, you go through coloring, final edits, and then printing. So yeah.
Awesome, man. A labor of love. Wow. I like it. Hey, when we spoke, when we first met, and there's a bit of a afterward in here. This book is devoted to someone. Could you please tell us? You made a promise to some people to show your art to the world. I think, right? You want to tell that story real quick?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I gave up artwork, I think, for a long time. I used to draw all the time growing up to kind of get away from the way life was. And one of the people that I always had my back was my grandmother, and then my grandfather, oddly enough, on almost separate sides of the family. But my grandma always wanted me to do something with my artwork, and I was like, yeah, okay. Well, eventually she ended up, she got real sick, and as she was passing, she had asked me to make sure and promise her that I would do something with my artwork.
Oh, wow.
She didn't care what it was, but just to do something with that. And so that's what inspired me to finally put pen to paper and start making Belial. Now, once the first one was done, then unfortunately the next year, my grandfather, he was passing, and he also had my back, and he really pushed forward. And so it's kind of an ongoing promise to both my grandmother, my grandfather, and also because I've not been one to be, on the well-to-do or silver spoon list. It's also kind of something to give and leave for my kids, to have something tangible that I can leave behind, that they can speak to. This is who he was. So I kind of try to make sure that a little bit of me in each one of those books,
Hey man, that's powerful. That's moving. That's
good
awesome.
origin
You
story.
kept your word. Yeah, I mean, props. The world needs indie, unique, original art and content, and I'm so happy you went through and did it. And I'm so sorry for your losses, but I'm goddamn glad you're out here pushing your work to the world, man. I mean, congrats. It's a great series.
Hey, I appreciate it. Like I said, I just try to make it fun, and actually, honestly, when it started out, it was just the darker tones. Of course, you can probably tell by the description originally of the book. It sounds like a really dark story.
Yeah, I was excuse me. Me and Steven were both surprised at how fun it was, because we're like, this is gonna be heavy. No, it's super. It's a blast to go through.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect going in, and seeing the artwork, I was like, oh, cool. I love everything about Hell, Dante's Inferno, Four Horsemen, anything. And going into it, it was just like a breath of fresh air. I loved it. It was so fun. I thought it was hilarious at parts. Like, the action seemed really cool.
It was
I can't wait to read the rest of it. I mean,
yeah, it was like watching a rock album. It was great,
right? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
We've actually, that's a good lead in with the fact that we've actually been kind of blessed to have a couple of really cool people. The person that does the pencils for like the layouts for the book and everything, his name is Gregory Warrenchak, and he does a lot of stuff. But one of his things that he doesn't really mention very much is that he was one of the storyboard artists for the Prince of Persia video game.
Whoa,
Like,
really?
Damn.
Yeah, so that was kind of a cool thing when I found that out, and he never talks about it, which I thought was funny. And then we've also, on the variant cover that you got, the Hold My Beer variant cover, that was done by a guy named Dan Gorman, and he's actually done trading cards for, Top Cow and things like that, of
wow.
Stranger Things, Fallout, and Rick and Morty.
That's so cool, man.
Holy hell.
And then the biggest one is Thomas Tenney, and that
Yes.
he's done the most recent Creep show artwork for the reboot of the television show. He's doing, I believe it's Day of the Dead stuff. He's gotten work that he's going for with the heavy metal, if you guys are familiar with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's also done the most recent AC/DC album cover. So I was extremely lucky to get him on
I'm just geeking
that.
out right now, man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
incredible.
no, he's got a big presence in the indie circle, but yeah, he's always got stuff going, and he's always pumping stuff out. It's awesome.
That must be so cool to be surrounded by such a creative influence like that. I mean, but it
It's one
totally
hell of a
fits you
team.
out. You deserve all of it, man. Steven, you had a question.
Oh, I wanted to know what your 3 favorite horror films are. Not your top, but like three of them that like not inspired this, but like what's your like go-tos?
For me personally, ones that I can watch a million times, and it's probably going to sound funny. I know that I like the Hellraiser series. That's my horror baseline. But then from that, I go a little bit more fun with 976 Evil.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then I like, of course, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, for sure.
Freddy's King.
Yes.
Freddy's King.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good taste, man.
Respect
you got
all those.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I gravitate towards a lot of like the characters that seem more almost intellectual and like have a lot more character and always kind of reach out there. And I have the Hellraiser omnibus, and I was really trying to get the Freddy versus Jason versus Ash comic books, but they are expensive.
Oh yeah.
Can only imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If only that happened in the movies. I was excited for it.
Hey, do us a favor. Tell the fans of the show where they can find your work.
I am Instinct on all the socials. So as far as Instagram, INSTINKED, because I started out as an inker, so it's Instinct, but the inked part is inked.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And then also you can go, of course, my online store is www.instinctcomics.com. And oddly enough, I do some time-lapse videos and stuff of inking and drawing on TikTok and stuff like that. So
nice.
still Instinct on there as well.
That sounds fascinating. Hey,
yeah.
Cool, man. Shaun, dude, I'm so glad you were a part of the show. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Anything else you want to add before you go?
No, I'm good, man, but thank you for having me by. Anytime you guys want to hang out or anything, let me know. I'm always available. Oh, and I do have to tell you, since you are that Batman fan, if you guys both want one, I got it for you. I actually had a picture that I inked and got colored of the Bat Who Laughs.
Are you serious?
So I'll make sure you guys both get one of those.
You are amazing, dude. We appreciate you. We're going to put a link down in our show description. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on kingskill.com. We're anywhere podcasts available. Put a link in there for you. And also, we'd like to put a plug into the site on our website, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely. Excellent. Anything you guys like to do, I'm in the same. I'm actually sharing you guys out now, too. So it's good.
I appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the love. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Check out Belial, Instinct Comics. Shaun, Barbour, thank you so much, man. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah.
And we're going to send you out properly. We're going to give you a little round of applause for the world here. Hey, thank you so much, man.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Well, ladies and gents, our first interview, our first guest.
That was tight.
What a cool guy.
I did not expect that. That was a lot of name drops. That was awesome.
Hey,
what a creative team. That was
absolutely.
Great.
I mean, I was geeking out. I was fanboying.
What was the second movie that he said?
He mentioned Hellraiser, and he mentioned 986 Evil.
Yeah, that you never hear anybody talk about that.
No, you
That's
don't.
So awesome.
Fun movie.
I'm so glad he said that.
Overlooked horrors, and then of course he's a Freddy fan. That's how you know he's got good taste.
Yeah.
Dude. Shaun, thanks again. We appreciate you. Check out Belial. Check out Instinct.com. You won't regret it. I love the comic. I was really surprised by it. Again, I was expecting something really heavy. It was so fun. It was so light. It had action, comedy. It was great. It's a little taste of hell.
It could probably get really heavy. It has a tone for everything. It's awesome.
It could embrace a lot. And guys, if any of you out there are a fan of indie horror, support them. A fan of indie art at all. You know what I mean? Do us a favor, go to our website, get yourself a mug, something like that. Help us keep going strong. And if you're a fan of comics, if you're a fan of graphic novels, or you're a fan of comedy, horror, action, check out Belial. It's a lot of fun. As you can tell, Shaun's a really cool guy. He deserves any success he's getting. And we're just happy he was part of the show. Something that's not as cool is Steven recommended a movie to me last week.
What?
Called Sand Sharks. Starring Hulk Hogan's daughter. who acts even worse than Hulk Hogan.
Are you kidding me? He was in Suburban Commando. Amazing movie.
I mean, now I recommended you a movie. Did you?
Nope.
Okay, thanks, bud. Really
I did
glad.
not watch it yet. I got schedule. I gotta do things.
I got schedule.
I'll get
it was
to it.
it was terrible. Nobody watch it. It's absolute shit. It's not even fun. It's not even. It's so painful.
Yeah, how was Sand Sharks?
I'm talking about Sand Sharks.
I know.
Jackass.
I want to hear you say it again.
Awful. Murderous. I wish I could stab my eyes with the shark's fins coming out of the sand. But I watch it because I'm a team player, bro. My guy. All right.
Oh, watch it.
I'm gonna say Creepy Clowns is more fun than Sand Sharks by 1,000%.
Creepy Clowns.
That's what I recommend. It's shit, but I mean it's fun. It's like so bad, it's hilarious. You gotta check it out. Horror news.
Before that,
Yeah.
I was back to comics. Have
Oh, yeah.
you heard of Zack Snyder's new series?
Snyder's
Night of the
new comic?
Ghouls?
No.
Yeah, Zack Snyder wrote it.
He what?
It's kind of like
He wrote
he
it.
wrote it.
All right.
We just reviewed a movie like this, or maybe I just watched this movie, but the story is kind of similar to it. Fuck, it was Hills Red. It just clicked.
Hills Run Red.
Run Red.
Okay.
That's what the story sounds like. The story follows this guy. I'm not going to give names because I can't pronounce shit. The story follows this guy, a man obsessed with a legendary lost horror film, Night of the Ghoul, tracks down its filmmaker
This is literally the synopsis. Yeah. Okay.
to an unusual, secluded retirement home. They find him. The guy's like, "Oh my god, you found my movie." Super fan. Stumble upon his masterpiece, and then there's a monster in the film, and that monster is in real life, and they have like a night to survive. So basically,
It's Hills Run Red.
yeah, exactly.
It sounds fun though. I mean, I'm down for the concept. I just wish it was
Yeah, I think
executed better in
I think
Hills
it's like
Run
a
Red.
4-part series, or it's like a small series, but yeah, I'm pretty interested in it. I
Totally
saw
worth it.
Zack Snyder's name. I saw Night of the Ghouls.
Yeah.
It looks like it's in World War One, probably. I was like, this
Okay.
is awesome. And then
Yeah.
I read the plot, and I was like, that is a
Wait a
movie we
second.
just fucking did.
It is. You guys can check out all of our curated library available for free at kingsofkill.com. Plus, we're all over social media. Check us out. If you want to watch us, we're on YouTube too. Whatever you prefer, you can find us. We appreciate you listening. Horror news. I heard that Mr. Shaun Barbour is working on something new. Can't tell anything about it, but I just heard
That's the news.
he might be dabbling.
Okay, then I'm gonna give you.
Oh, I got
Some
something
weird
really
news.
scary. I got something really scary. Saved by the Bell is back.
Nice.
That's terrifying.
Saved by the Bell's been back. Where have you been?
Not on Peacock.
Not waking up every Saturday morning. Fuck.
When I wake up in the morning,
Where the fucking lyrics are.
let's fly by. It's all
Yeah,
right.
they all came back. Like everybody besides Screech and Mr. Belding.
You remember the college years? Oh
Maybe he is
boy,
back. I don't know. Oh yeah, the college years were the years I try to forget.
so sad. Oh, what do you got? What do you got?
The masterpiece Halloween Kills extended cut is coming to Amazon
No,
1
I'll
week
cut your.
before.
Where the fuck is your mic? Master cut. Oh my god.
Now,
5 minutes,
Fatal
Lori
Attractions.
laying in bed.
It's gonna be great. Extended cuts. So
Yeah, I'd love more
you're
of
gonna
that.
hear that it's about 40 years, 5 more times. Evil dies tonight, a couple more. But Fatal Attraction has a TV show coming out at Paramount Plus.
I love they made a sequel as dog shit, but I love that first movie.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Lizzie Kaplan is
Wait, what's it on?
Paramount Plus. So we'll see.
We'll see how, because you really can't censor something like that. I mean, it's
Yeah,
murder sex and affairs, like
Paramount Plus has
Yellowstone.
Survivor and stuff. I don't know.
Survivor's still on.
Yeah, dude, it's on season 41. I just got caught up. Crazy. Council last night.
Okay, fanboy. All right. Next week
Hold the
is
fuck on.
Sir, could you watch your fucking mouth?
Last Night in Soho's being released on demand November 19th already.
Oh, what?
Man, fuck the theaters. It was released in theaters October 29th. Now
I love it.
Released on demand November 19th.
Hey, I want theaters to last a long time, but it's so convenient to have them at home. Last Night in Soho looks so good. I can't wait to cover it. Plus, 19th is the same day I think Ghostbusters releases.
Oh, that's crazy.
You were excited about it.
About it at all.
I got hopes for it. I'm hoping we're gonna give it some love.
Fucking better.
Maybe it's impossible. Maybe you just can't beat that dream team that made it. You know.
I mean, I don't think you can, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
It's got the sexiest man alive 2021's Paul Rudd. He just got named sexiest man alive. That wasn't just my award.
I'm sure you don't have to
give him that title. He's the most bland fucking guy ever, but he's hilarious. Name's Rudd.
With being jealous of beauty.
Picked out that last name. Oh, Rudd.
Are you done? My soapbox was about censorship in art, and you're like, this fucker named Rudd.
This guy Rudd. Paul Rudd.
Next week is going to be Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving too.
No.
I don't know if they made a second one.
They made a third one, not a second one.
Whoa, dude. Franchise? What's up?
No, they didn't make a second one. Nope. Next week, we have a request.
What is it?
And the request stated this film was always on TV every Thanksgiving her entire childhood. Next week, for a Thanksgiving special, The Wizard of Oz.
What?
Yep, it's happening. It's
I
happening.
don't know. What?
Spooky.
I guess the apes are fucking scary.
For a child's movie, that's terrifying, dude.
I'm in. We did Home Alone last Christmas. We could do whatever the fuck we want.
You guys, thank you so much for requesting episodes. Request your episode at kingsofkill.com. Thank you all so much for joining us. Hey, big thanks to Shaun. Check out Instinct Comics. Check out Belial. It's a lot of fun.
Hey, what's your question?
Thank you, killers. Oh, God, that's right. We're doing questions now.
We're not doing Twitter polls anymore, people. I know you loved them.
Favorite. We're still on Twitter. All links are on our website to our social media. How's about favorite
horror comic?
Twinsies.
Okay. Favorite horror comic.
I love this enthusiasm. Okay.
What do you want?
It's the best line of Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters, what do you want?
What do you want?
Guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you, killers. We appreciate you. Tune in next week for a Thanksgiving special.
Thanks.
My name's Zach.
I'm Steven, you guys.
And we are
the Kings of Kill. Oh, you were good. I thought you were going to do it that way.
Beautiful singing voice. Did you? Did you really, bud?
You were. I totally thought. Good. No memo, I guess.
You were close, right? Throw a shoe.
Yeah. I got nothing.